All right, art students, let's see if we can get into this right here. Now, this is going to be for all of us who are into comics or into drawing comics, basically. We are so into drawing the big superhero or the sexy superheroine that we neglect drawing everybody else around. So this was actually a request, and I said that's a good idea, on how to draw teens and kids. Because if you're doing a book, your book is not going to be filled with just super powered, sexy, buff dudes and girls all the time. You're going to have to draw, the little brother, little sister, or the kids in school or whatever. So I'm going to try to show you how I draw, or the steps to drawing teens and kids. So let's start out. Let me flip my paper. This might be easier to do this way if I can line them up. Let's start out with what we already know about doing the adult figure, and then we're going to go to the baby, and then we're going to go to the teen, and then I'll try to do some bodies if I can do it real quick. Well, you need to do the body anyway. So we already know we draw the oval, we split it in half, we go half, and then we half, and then you have your adult. So let me just do like a quick rough for an adult male so that we can get going. Get going. You already know this. My glasses are so dirty. I should have cleaned these things long before I even started. Okay, it might be a little crooked because I always draw from the side, if you ever notice that, because I can't draw just with my paper straight up and down like that. So just something I could never do. And one eye is always crooked. That's just me. Unless I'm doing like my comic, then I'll try to make everything, crazy perfect. But for this, we're just into it right quick. Draw it real quick. And his eyebrows are down. Why is he so sad looking? I don't know. And that's one thing for if you're drawing a lot of faces, your eyebrows are what tells the story or what brings your emotion out. So, okay, we're gonna have a square chin up to the jawbone up here, and then kind of straight down, jawbone, ear right here. As I say, if you're doing comics, you pretty much already know how to do this. And then you have your head, and then you have your neck, which is going to come straight down on the side of that jawbone right there. And then you have your guy. And I will ink this later. Just to save time. So we're going to go to the other end. Now, you already know there's rules to drawing faces. It's like your oval, half, thirds, blah, blah, blah. You already know that because you're doing that already. So the same thing applies to when you're doing babies and teenagers. There's rules, but the rules change. The measurements change. What was I going to say? It was something that was like really important that I was going to say. And it'll come to me in a second. I always, well, if you always said it, you would know what you were going to say. A lot of times I will say it, and this is kind of the rule that I go for. Talent is 30% and knowledge is 70%, because just because you can draw something doesn't mean you know why you're drawing it, if that makes sense. So let's do this. Okay, we're going to do a baby and stick a teenager in the middle. The one thing about babies are... Well, there are a lot of things about babies. Let me draw this, because this is subject to change, because I don't do a lot of babies myself. I had to basically do a little research. But now that I've got the little head, big head, there are rules that you have to follow if you're trying to do a baby. Or let's just go baby for now and then keep going. And let me clean my glasses, because this is just ridiculous, because I'm going to need these if they don't fall apart. I'm going to need to see, put it that way. All right, let's try that. Much better, much better. All right, so first of all, as you grow up, your head, your face, your head, your features. They're gonna pull apart when you're a baby. They're really close together. That's kind of like rule number one. So what I usually do is I'll try to get that fat face, but this head is going to be subject to change. Let me just go ahead and do this. I start at the bottom. Babies always have that little chin. I said this is going to be subject to change because I haven't drawn babies, but these are the rules. So then they have that mouth, and they're all going to be small. Not going to be long like this. Then they have the little baby nose, and I'm going to say the word baby so many times. So let's put the nose here. And then just above that, they're going to have the eyes. Okay, now you see where my head is. My head is too big already. I could have just made it bigger, but these are like the rules. You got to put them close together. So they're going to have the big eyes, and the eyes are like right next to the nose. They're going to have wider noses. Babies have kind of wide nose, but the mouth is usually about the length of the nose, the average baby. So let me draw it in a cartoony style first so I can get it straight. And then I will actually kind of make it more Western comic book style. Okay, so we have that, and let's scope this little baby eyes. I need some light because these glasses are still, and I don't have my window open, that's why. So baby's eyes are going to be big because they are born with the same size eyes that they will die with. I heard this on some show, some show, science show. So that's why babies have big eyes, because when we're born with the same size eyes. Our eyes don't grow. Everything else grows except our eyes. So we're gonna have the nose, the little nose, and a lot of times you have the open nostrils, and I'm gonna have to ink this one because it is almost unseeable because it's dark in here. And then this is going to be pronounced. It's going to be obvious. This the philtrum, the little piece here. And then babies have this. Babies. $1 for every time I say babies. Babies usually have a little thin top lip. And I'm going to make that lip smaller, and it's crooked because I draw crooked, as I say. And then that bottom lip. If you want the mouth open, then you just draw a second bottom lip, but I'm going to keep it closed for now. Now, you have a closed face. As I say, from this to this, the face stretches. The eyes stay the same, but the face stretches. So let me get that. And usually you're going to see that fold skin on the babies. And you don't want to. Same way with the eyebrows. If you do like that, the baby is sad. Same thing you don't want to do with the folded skin. And I need to stop being cheap and break out some more of my pencils, marking pencils. Oh, that eraser just sucked. So I'm gonna bring this down. That's just emotion. If you're trying to draw emotion. But I'm going to keep this down like this. The babies usually keep that low profile. They're looking around like, hey, where am I? It's too much light here. And then, of course, the big eyes, which are not big. They're just big compared to the rest of the body. Now, okay, those rules close, everything close. Nose, small, the mouth small, thin top lip. Not so much for the bottom lip. The mouth is usually not too much bigger than the nose. Now, here's the baby thing. You got the fat cheekbones. Babies, they'll have that. Sometimes it's that old man looking baby. You can still see this because you have those old man lines in the face. But if you puff up from the eyes, from here all around, if you puff this up like that, then you have that head to work with, or the face to work with. So I'm gonna do like this, bring this around. Remember, this is puffed up. And then let's give him his little ears. I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit. It's gonna go back out. You don't even have to bring it in. Usually here you have this piece that comes in, and then that determines where that plane is gonna be at. It sucks in. So when you do that quarter view, 3/4 view, you'll know what that is. So I'm gonna bring this up, but I'm gonna do this little baby ear. Babies usually have the little ears that stick out, just because that just makes them cute. And then you have to figure out the size of the head. So I want to say maybe about right there. Because here is balanced, here is definitely not. You have most of your face at the bottom somewhere. And as he grows, he or she, the face kind of separates and spreads out. So let me ink this to make this a little more visible. And I'm going to speed up this inking process. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to speed it up. All right, so here you have my rendition of a baby. It could be better, but as I said, I'm so used to drawing this that I haven't drawn this in a while, so I had to dust off the old knowledge part of the brain. So if you do a baby, the baby's gonna have the little fat necks, and then the shoulders are gonna be like right up there in their face somewhere. So that's your baby. Okay, but just remember the steps. That's why I say knowledge is 70, skill is 30%. I've seen people draw a lot of stuff and it was just wrong, but they were good enough to draw it. But if they knew why they were drawing it or how they should have drawn it, it would have been a lot better. So there's your baby, here's your man. So as far as a teenager, you have to kind of meet in the middle. Teenagers, for every age, every year, let's just say for every year, this face is going to extend a little bit more, and the eyes, nose, and mouth are going to separate a little bit more. So just kind of remember that. So let's say a teenager, because teenagers are just so close to being adults. It's just the body that changes everything. So let's see what I can do here. Teenager, and I'm going to kind of kitty it first, just kind of cartoon it first, because that's usually the only time I really draw teens and kids if I'm doing a children's book. So let's do center. Let's do his nose. I'm going to keep his nose down a little bit more, and then the mouth is going to be like this, and the eyes are going to be probably about right here. So I've kind of like got cut this off. I've got I should open my window because it is a little dark in here. I've got a cartoon-ish kind of teen. Now, the one thing about the difference between this guy, and this guy is he has more sharpness to his features, whereas this little guy is going to be round. Everything's going to be round and fluffy and soft. So you got to meet in the middle with this. So let me stop and open my windows for 1 second. All right, so that's much better. So I'm going to draw, I don't know what it is, it's still dark. I'm going to draw that tiny nose, which is not going to be tiny. I'm sorry, but using my light. This is my light. I got to use this sometimes when I get really small detail. The nose is still going to be somewhat big, but and still not as sharp as the adult. The mouth can kind of be the same. It's going to stretch apart further than the baby's. Maybe bring the lip closer a little bit. And then the eyes. So we're going to go here. We're not going to have as far a gap as this. So I'm going to have my line here. And remember, the eyes are always the same. It's just that when we draw, especially superheroes, we close the eye. We tend to close the eyes a bit. So that's a good indication of age. Is the eye, the amount of eye you see. And sometimes when you draw, you just, for some reason, you're unable to do it. I don't know what that's called, but it is a thing. You just drawn all day yesterday, and then you pick up your pencil tomorrow, and you, for whatever reason, the simplest thing you can't really get out. Now his eyes are sad looking. I don't know why, because most teenagers are kind of like, don't know what's going on. They're kind of sad, and it's like, hey, what's going on? What am I gonna do today? What am I gonna be? So here's my eye again. And then the face is not going to be squared off like that. I know the shadow is probably bugging somebody. So I want to keep him round. Almost as if I'm going to draw the face of a female, almost. Smaller chin. And the face is where you have to kind of keep playing with it until you get that right size, right shape. And then ears, a lot of teenagers are awkward. It's their awkward point where the ears are too big, or the face doesn't quite match yet. Everything is not there yet. It's like, oh, my head is too big, my ears are too big, or, you know, when am I going to get taller or whatever. So you have those awkward ears. My pencil sharpener is not doing it for me. I ordered another one, should be here today. Little things that you take for granted, pencil sharpeners and erasers, and until you really need them. Is it ear really down? Okay, so anyway, this is going to be the ear. But again, he's not going to have those sharp features as the man. You still want to keep his whatever you call that, spacings a little close. We give him less chin. As I said, you have to kind of feel it. You have to play with it to get it where you want to get it. Now, I would say this guy would probably be, I don't know, what would he pass for? Probably 11, 12, might go for 14. Yeah, I would say no more than 14, 15 at the most, but it depends on the hair. Now, teens always have these weird hair, so I'm not even going to try to do some, hair, that, what you doing now, Brian? Look in a fashion magazine, or look at, what do you call those, clothes magazines or something, when you want to figure out, what's trending now for teenagers. There's this little, I just woke up hair. And then, of course, the neck, like this, coming straight down the side. This guy, you're going to give him less neck, like that. And then his shoulders are going to be like this. If he's your superhero, this is going to be almost like the female. I'll give him a little sloping with a little bulge, okay? To say this is the bulge. I'll give him a little sloping for the female head. I'll slope it like this. I'll give him just a little bulge, and then even that's too much. He's an athlete. He's a young athlete. The one thing is, you don't want the shoulders to be way out. Like if I finish this guy up, he could be here, collarbone, and then his shoulders are going to be way out there somewhere. For the kids, you don't want his shoulders to be out like that. I would even reduce his neck a little bit. Again, it depends on what you are drawing. Is he just your average bookworm? Is he a football player? Is he into skateboarding or whatever? Then that's going to show you his body development. It's going to take a toll, not take a toll, but it's going to determine how big this guy, how muscular this guy is. So let me do this. Let me put a little t-shirt on this guy. And that's something else, fashion. Again, look in a fashion magazine, or, get your JCPenney catalog and, clothes for kids or whatever, or online and clothes for kids, and you can see. So let me ink this guy. All right, there you go. I was rushing it a little bit, so again, forgive the crooked lines. I'm trying not to get an hour video. I just want you guys to know the knowledge. This is not a how to draw. This is more of a why to draw video. But I guess you could call it a how to, because I'm showing you how you the steps. So basically, yeah, how to, why to kind of video. And then of course the guy, and I'll ink him just because he's there. And yeah, something I was going to do, something with the eyes. Yeah, I was going to make the top of the eyes darker, thick the line going around at the top thicker, and at the bottom thinner, because it is shadow. Same thing with the baby. They always look at the focus on those eyes. So they give them shadow at the top, and then at the bottom, less. And he's a real baby because he got no teeth. All right, let's do this guy real quick. Fast motion. All right, so I didn't know what kind of hair I was going to give this guy, so I just gave him kind of like a stubble. He's a hockey player. I don't know what any of the hockey symbols look like. He's a hockey player, so he's a bad guy. He's a not bad guy like evil. He's just like a bad boy. He is. He's a hockey player by day and superhero by night. And his hair grows, so nobody really knows him who he is because his hair grows long. And then when he becomes, the regular guy, his hair falls out again, and he's a hockey player. Man, I see that. You see that? Getting to the comics now. That's a really good idea right there. Nobody knows. All right, so these are your examples. 3 examples. You want to, as you get older, you want to make it more square. I'm gonna cut this light off. You want to keep everything more square, more sharper. And as he gets younger, you want to, and everything's pulled apart, evenly apart. When you get younger, you bring your features, that's what I'm trying to say, your features more closer together, and you start rounding stuff more off. And then as you become a baby, you bring your features even closer and make it even more rounded, more soft and squishy. Now, I could have made this more realistic if I chose to, but just adding, certain lines, like, brow lines and lines in the eyes and so forth, and, take my time inking. I could have made it more realistic and, less cartoony. But usually when we do cartoons, when we do teens, we tend to think of cartoons. So, yeah. But it's about your style, what you are doing. So let's work on the bodies real quick. Real quick. So I'm not gonna really worry about the faces too much. Where's my pencil? Non-sharp pencil. Okay, let's start the torso. It's just gonna be really quick. I said that already. For the guy. And whenever I draw, I always use my steps, my guidelines to creating a body. Someone asked, could I do one doing stick figures? And I went back and I looked at this person's site, and he was using the stick figure method. And I said, okay, yeah, there's a better way. Now, I've done one, but it was in 2019, and a lot of times people won't go back and they won't look through. I'll say, go back to my site, look through everything, and then you'll probably find what you're looking for in there amongst the stuff. But a lot of people don't, so I'm going to do an updated one of drawing using the stick figure to make it a lot easier, because I'm sure a lot of beginning artists are doing that, because that's how the books said that you're supposed to draw, with this stick figure thing. And a lot of people just, it doesn't work for them, or they can't break past through that stick figure to get to more of a better realistic anatomy. So my next video, once I finish this, I'm just going to keep drawing and then work on that. So this is the male body, of course. I don't need to dress them because I'm not going to be drawing, you know, naked little boys. You know, they're not going to be kicking in my door. FBI. So, of course, these are the steps that I do when I'm drawing the body. Okay, I'm not going to really put muscles in there. I'm going to address these guys. So if I'm doing the kid, now I've got the square head and the neck that comes straight down. So I'm doing the kid. I'm not going to put muscles. I'm going to kind of go the same route. Shorter, so his shoulders are going to be here. So I'm going to probably bring his shoulders about right here. So I'm going to have to adjust everything. So his feet would be down. I'm going to bring him up a little bit. I don't want him to be that short. Yeah, about right there. So it's going to be the same thing, except I'm not going to have like that V taper shape like this guy. He's going to be average. I could have just drew an average body, or just a straight down body, but I'm going to do what I do and adjust that. I'm going to bring the waist out a little bit more. And I'm not going to make the legs as fat. In the final. See, even right now, he looks like a young superhero body, but I'm going to change that. And that's why we have erasers. So by giving him an average waist, I don't want him to be, you know, obese or anything like that. So what did I say? I was going to bring it up here. Well, now it's down here. I'm going to give him a bigger head. And the arms, I'm just going to do regular. Remember that the wrist stops right at the crotch, especially if you have your arm straight down. If you bring it up, it's going to be a little higher. You know, you can still do the pieces, but to stay away from making him too muscular, I'll just do the regular straight arm. Now, even at that, I'll say, okay, his shoulders may need to come in a little bit more, or his head needs to be a little bigger. Again, what kind of teenager are you drawing? So I want to, and again, that's my favorite word. Again. The body really doesn't matter to a degree, because you will be putting clothes on your teenager, unless he is a superhero and he's going to have a tight uniform. Yes. A costume is when you pretend, and a uniform is when you go to work. It's what you wear when you pretend, and a uniform is what you wear when you go to work. So yeah, you don't put costumes on superheroes. So okay, I'm doing his neck. I'm bringing his neck in a little bit more, and I'm probably gonna just ink that off camera because I don't want this. It's probably gonna be an hour video. That's just me. And again, make his head a little bigger, and then you have that. So this baby, I haven't drawn a baby body. He's not gonna be a sitting baby. Let's make him a toddler. Okay, so I want to like about his feet are gonna be here. Okay, let's just say toddler. And again, it doesn't really make a difference because you're not putting muscles on the character. You are putting clothes on the character. Toddlers have big fat legs and they come in because they're fat, and little tiny toddler feet until they become basketball players and then wear size 15, 18. So little belly. So this is going to be wider, and this is going to come up like that. And they're going to get the big toddler head, the big water jug head, and then they don't have really too much shoulders, so the little fat baby arms are going to come down. Can you see that good? Because for me, it's blurred. And then you got your the baby hands. So too much neck right off the bat. Space, diaper, if he has a diaper. Now at this point, I would have to look up clothes for kids and so forth, but I'm just going to wing it right now. So I'm going to put his head even down a little bit more. And again, this is how you have to kind of play with the sizes of the head. But now that you know the steps to drawing them, then you can do fairly good. So I'm not a teenager anymore, thank God. But what do teenagers wear? I know teenagers love hoodies. So let's see if I can do a hoodie. And I'm going to need light because let's switch pencils. Because it's really hard to see with that blue pencil. What does a hoodie look like? Hoodie looks like. Hoodie looks like. I could have put it on him. And one thing about the seam of a shirt, especially of a hoodie, your seam usually comes down right here on your arm, but a hoodie goes way down here. A hoodie seam just goes way down there. Stop it, light. Making that noise. And drawstrings. Well, okay, that's the shoulder. Then you got to have the hood part right here, Brian. That goes around. That's what you're missing. That part right there. Hoodie, and let's just put, if I would draw my symbol on there, but I don't. Pants are down. And this is quick for the sake of time. And then, of course, you have to have those expensive brand name tennis shoes because kids just can't go outside nowadays without having a $300 pair of shoes on, because that's just how they roll. Parents, you're just walking in the dirt. I'm gonna put $300-400 in the dirt. Thank you, no. And once you draw something enough, you can pretty much redo it again, come close to it again and again and again. So if you're like, wow, how does he do tennis shoes? It's just, you just do it enough that you know how to do it again. What do you got? What do you got right here? Fingers. You got his little skateboard, because I'm a teen and I don't go anywhere without my skateboard. Forgive me if that skateboard is wrong. That's his skateboard, not yours. All right, so we've got that, and I'll ink this off camera, and I'll show that to you later. And get pockets that go down here, and you would have your center stitch there, but you're not really gonna see that. So yeah, if he ironed his jeans, you would have that, but what teenager irons his jeans? All right, so the guy just gonna have what? I don't know. Put a suit on him, or just put a suit on him. Because he is an adult and he has a job because he plays hockey, so he has to represent his team and his state. So whenever he goes out, he has to have on that suit. And I forgot how to draw a suit. It's been a minute since I drew a suit. And again, suits have shoulder pads. So of course that seam on that arm is going to come out like that, and it's going to be a big old square kind of arm here. And when you do suits, you don't have a lot of wrinkles. You have straight lines. that shows that this suit is well taken care of. Remember, that seam is going to come off that shoulder. This is going to be more of a point because they have that shoulder pad, and there's going to be big arm like that. Pants are going to be the same. Pants are not going to have all these wrinkles. You might have one or two, very small, a little bit there, and they're going to come straight down. And they will have that seam sewn. Sewn, that crease. That's what I'm trying to say. Crease, and then this comes around. This is what I was missing. That the little suit thing. Suit thing. I'm just gonna stop talking. This collar, wing, whatever it's called, and then a lot of times you will see some of the shirt up under the sleeve of the suit and the button. I don't know if it goes in the front or the back right now. It's been a long time since I wore a suit. And I hope it's going to be a long time before I have to wear a suit, because wearing a suit means you're going to some special occasion or funeral. I don't really want to go to no funerals. Jacked up shoes, that's okay. Not doing the face. And the baby, jeez, what do babies wear? Diapers and pajamas and just whatever, I don't know. You know what, I'm just gonna put some hanging pajamas on this little body of a baby. Wrinkly t-shirt. Look up baby clothes. Sorry, you have to look that up. Put a bib, no bib on them, and just give them a little wrinkly baby pants. So once again, and I said once again this time, it doesn't make a difference for the body as long as you get the shape right, because you're going to put clothes on them anyway, unless you want to be shut down by the government drawing naked naked things, and his little baby socks like that. So there you go. Now, if I had time, I would do the 3/4 and so forth and so on, but that's enough to get you started. Just understand, you already know this. Now you know this. Don't make them so buff. Make them a little shorter, make the head a little bigger, keep the face round. This fat little marshmallow thing, you know about that one already. So yeah, I should have showed you the face when I was saying that. Keep it sharp, make it rounder, make it squish, bring the proportions in, take the proportions out a little bit more, take the proportions all the way up. So hopefully that will help you know the difference between the male. I said I was going to ink this off camera. I will, and then I'll show it to you. You know the difference between the male and the teen and a baby, depending on the age that you want. What age teen do you want? What age baby do you want? What does the teen do? Is he sit around and play video games all day? Is he into sports? Is he a bookworm? All of that stuff, it takes in account for what you're drawing. So when people say, oh, this is how you draw this. No, it's not how you draw this. It's how you, where's the camera? It's how you draw this. If I say this is how you draw a fish and I draw goldfish, that's how I draw goldfish. You might need a puffer fish. So yeah, let me ink this and I'll be right back, and we're gonna end this video. All right, so here we are with a quick ink to show you guys a little bit more. I figured out the suit, changed the suit around a little bit. This should have been coming down, but you'd have to look at the clothes that you want your character to wear to make it more of a speak English, to make it a more of a realistic, believable character, unless you're doing sci-fi or something like that. So that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If it was helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you had breakfast, lunch, or dinner, give me a thumbs up, and keep coming back. Tell a friend, keep coming back. So that's going to be it for this video. So hopefully, I might have said that already, you found it interesting, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to ramble.